AAA Foundation for Traffic Safety, saving lives through research and education.
I try to wake up on time, never want to be late. Can't be no fooling around, you gotta keep the kids straight. And if there's bad weather, I'm dressed so I'll be warm and dry. I'm gonna feel good.
Hi there, I'm Officer Murphy. You're about to start an exciting new job as a school safety patrol. You'll protect other kids on their way to and from school. That's a great feeling. You'll make new friends and be respected by the children and grown-ups in your neighborhood. You'll also go to special school safety patrol events like cookouts and parties. You see, everyone benefits from the School Safety Patrol program. You're part of a special team. Your patrol supervisor schedules meetings and assigns posts. Your patrol captain makes sure that all patrol posts are covered and that the patrol members are on time and doing their job. There's also your local police department, but the most important part of the team is you, the patrol member, who makes sure that the children get to school safely. Now here's Scott and Jenny, two friends who know firsthand about the duties of being a safety patroller.
Hi there. How you doing?
Now you two can tell these kids about the responsibilities of being a school safety patroller.
Sure. First, be on time. People rely on me, so I have to be up and ready to go with time to spare, even if I'm feeling lazy. If I'm sick or going to be late, I call my patrol captain, Sean, to find another patrol member to cover my post. It's easy, but really important.
Second, be polite and friendly, not bossy. Treat others as you like to be treated. We're the other kids' role models, so we have to behave at our post.
Finally, we never direct traffic.
That's a very good point, Scott. Patrol members don't direct traffic.
Arrive at your post looking neat and clean and wearing your uniform, which includes
Your orange patrol belt.
And your patrol badge.
if used by your school, you may also wear an orange helmet. Carry a pen and notepad to write down traffic and pedestrian violations. Finally, dress appropriately for
rainy weather.
And cold weather, but don't wear any clothes that block your view of the road.
Now that we've talked about some basic responsibilities, let's see how Scott and Jenny handle crossing situations.
At your post, stand at least one step back from the curb in a comfortable at-ease position. I like to play during recess, but it's not safe to play near the street. I want to set a good example for other students. Here come Lee and Freddie. When kids arrive at my corner, I spread my arms downward with my palms turned back and stay one step back from the curb. Hey, Jenny. Hi, Jenny. Hi, guys. Here's how I help Lee and Freddie cross the road. First, I make sure that there's a safe gap, a break in traffic that allows enough time to walk across the street safely. I choose a visual reference point to my left, such as a tree or a mailbox, and another to my right. Then I time how long it takes cars to reach the intersection. For example, it usually takes cars about 15 seconds from that tree over there. Here, I'll show you. 1001, it takes about 10 seconds to walk across the street. So the time it takes for a car to travel from my visual reference points to the intersection is long enough for Lee and Freddie to cross. Choose visual reference points that are farther away when weather conditions are poor, or when cars are traveling at higher speeds. Also, use extra caution when you see trucks coming, because they can't stop as fast. Before I let these guys cross, I check ahead for left-turning vehicles and over my shoulder for right-turning vehicles. Then I make one last check to my left and right. When the coast is clear, I step aside facing traffic and point my right arm towards the intersection. I motion with my left arm for kids to cross, Bicycle riders should walk their bikes. I keep watching for traffic and return to the holding position when the children have all crossed. I tell any approaching kids to wait behind the curb. If an unexpected car, such as one that's turning or speeding, enters the intersection, alert any kids still crossing and return to your holding position immediately.
Sometimes you may need to step into the street to look around a parked car or van. Let's see how Scott handles this situation.
Before you enter the roadway, make sure that the car is really parked. Don't step in front of a car that's idling or a car that someone has just gotten into. I tell the kids to wait on the curb. I take a few steps into the street, but not beyond the parked car, to get a clear view. I check my visual reference points and look for turning vehicles. When it's safe, I step aside and motion for kids to cross. I keep watching for traffic and tell approaching kids to wait behind the curb. This is the only time I step into the street. Safety patrol members need to watch out for themselves too, so don't step into the street unless you have to. If cars are continually blocking your view, alert your patrol supervisor.
School safety patrol members often work with adult crossing guards. The guard counts on you to keep children safely back from the curb, answer questions, and double-check for traffic that may not have seen the guard's signal. Wait for the guard's signal before allowing children to cross. And remember, adult crossing guards are specially trained. Never attempt to stop or direct traffic yourself. Always follow any instructions the guard gives you and return to the holding position once children have crossed or when the adult guard signals that it's no longer safe to cross. At crossings with stop signs, some cars will stop and continue right away, while others will stop and wait for children to cross.
Make eye contact with drivers to be sure they see you, and check for turning cars.
At some signed intersections, your supervisor will instruct you to wait until all traffic has gone by before allowing kids to cross. This will always be true at intersections with more than one lane of traffic going in the same direction. Unless schools are closed, patrol members must show up to their post on time, even in bad weather. They must also be extra careful.
In bad weather, cars need more time to stop. Also, drivers can't see as well in rain or fog. I allow extra time for kids to cross by choosing farther visual reference points. I also watch for out-of-control vehicles when the roads are slick.
Some intersections require you to be especially alert for turning vehicles. Let's watch Jenny and Scott in action at T and one-way crossings.
Where two streets join in the shape of a T, many cars will be turning into and off of the main roadway. So watch carefully for turning vehicles at this type of intersection.
Where there's a one-way street, I look for traffic coming from the proper one-way direction. But I also check for traffic going the wrong way. Sometimes drivers make mistakes.
A lot of intersections have walk, don't walk signals. Check for traffic, especially turning cars, even when the signal says it's safe to cross. Remember, a flashing don't walk sign means don't start to walk, but you can continue crossing if you've already entered the intersection.
Drivers don't always obey traffic signals. Wait until all cars are stopped before letting kids cross. Don't let kids get caught in the street when a stoplight turns red. Know how long the signal lasts and cut off stragglers before it's too late, usually when the light's still green.
Another thing, drivers are allowed to turn right on red, except for when there are special signs posted. So always check for turning vehicles. If you are ever in doubt, if you are not sure whether a car is going to stop, don't allow kids to cross.
When we're working at the same post, Jenny and I stand next to each other with our arms spread. One of us faces the kids and the other faces the street. We both check for traffic. When we agree that there's a safe gap, we step aside and motion for the kids to cross.
If you notice any children acting dangerously at your post, politely ask them to stop. If the unsafe behavior continues, report it to your patrol supervisor. You may cross adults along with children, but they don't have to follow your instructions. If you see a traffic violation, write down the vehicle's color, make, and license plate number and report it to your supervisor. Your supervisor will alert the local police to recurring problems. If there's a crash, stay at your post and keep kids out of the street. Send someone to the school to report the accident to an adult there. In rural areas where students must walk along the highway, form a single file line on the left side of the road with you leading the way. Call cars to the students' attention and, if the roadway is narrow, step off the hard surface of the pavement until the cars have passed. Stay several steps back from the road when you reach the crossing. Since cars will be traveling faster on these roads, choose farther visual reference points. So far, we've seen how school safety patrols help kids walking to school. Now let's see how patrols assist bus riders.
The rear bus patrol boards the bus first and sits in the rear seat. This patrol makes sure all kids are seated and that their personal belongings are out of the aisle. The driver might also ask you to help take attendance. Make sure that kids remain seated while the bus is moving and keep noise to a minimum. Kids shouldn't have their arms or legs outside the windows. Check that children exiting the bus don't leave anything behind. If children are behaving unsafely, ask them kindly to stop. If they continue, report them to the bus driver. One more thing, be prepared to help the driver with bus evacuation if necessary. Ask your driver or patrol supervisor to explain how to use the bus's emergency exits.
When loading the bus, the front patrol boards after all other students and sits in the right front seat, and that's told differently by the driver. Check that there are no stragglers before boarding. The front patrol should dismount the bus at stops to assist kids getting on or off. Make sure that everyone is safe before reboarding. Some kids may need to cross in front of the bus. In this case, step far enough away from the front of the bus so that the bus driver can see you head to toe. Tell the kids to wait on the shoulder or sidewalk. Then step out to the edge of the bus and check for traffic in both directions. When the road is clear, wait for the bus driver's signal that it's okay to cross. When the bus driver gives you the okay, double-check traffic and motion kids across. Don't forget to check for stragglers before reboarding.
Keep in mind that school safety patrols don't discipline other kids. Report any dangerous behavior to the bus driver. Jenny, Scott, and I want to congratulate you on becoming members of your school safety patrol. Your job is important. Thanks for the time and commitment that you'll be giving to the school safety patrol program, a program that means so much to so many people.
I wait back from the curb and I stay out of the street. You know the best situation is when cars and kids don't